bringing her out for you. You. You're the biggest. You're the biggest, babe. Oh, you are. That's what put on your stage and your stage.
So you wasn't there to support him?
No, leave.
His baby mom also told me that, yeah, she knew and she was aware that Hood was on something new. He was on something new. And the person that he would do it with is Sydney/Vanessa, and she has gotten on her for doing that with him because he don't act himself when he's on that particular drug.
If y'all don't know who that is, it's Kelsie Frost's bestie. She's been getting a lot of her inner folks to talk about the situation because it's a lot of narratives out there about what really happened to T Hood. Because personally, I find it crazy how Kelsie Frost went from VH1 reality kid to the center of a for hire scandal that has Atlanta buzzing. The streets are saying she did the unthinkable, paid her own brothers to kill the man she called the love of her life, rapper T Hood, and now that she's finally speaking out, folks are more divided than ever on whether she's a grieving girlfriend or the mastermind of a deadly setup. Here's what we know. On August 8, 2025, Gwinnett County Police reported what they blandly called a domestic dispute. By the time the night ended, T Hood was dead. 5 shot wounds, back, chest, and stomach. Police said it was an argument gone wrong, but T Hood's family immediately shut that down, calling it what they believe it really was, an execution, orchestrated by Kelsie Frost and carried out by her brothers. And this is where the paying part comes in. According to the family's version, this wasn't just Kelsey yelling, "Come help me," during an argument. They allege she put money on it, that she essentially bankrolled her brother's loyalty to make sure T Hood didn't walk away. It's the kind of accusation that sounds ripped straight out of a Zeus Network script, but the family insists it's no reality show stunt. They say it's real and it cost their loved one his life. Kelsey, of course, is trying to flip the story. When the dragging on social media got too loud, she posted on Instagram calling T Hood her everything and saying she's heartbroken. "The love of my life is gone. I didn't harm him or ask anyone to harm him. I would never." She doubled down, saying the only call she made that night was to his mother, not her brothers, not anyone else. She insists she had nothing to do with the shots and that she's being framed because of her last name. But child, the internet doesn't run on courtroom evidence. It runs on vibes and hashtags, and the vibes are bad. T Hood's sisters immediately branded her Frosted K, blasting her as the bait in the trap. Hashtags like Justice for Hood and Find Kai Frost trended within hours. Fans flooded Frost Bistro's Yelp page with 1-star reviews telling people to boycott. Others flooded her Instagram, half offering sympathy, half accusing her of being the Black Widow of Atlanta. The contradictions in the story are what keep people glued. If Kelsey really didn't involve her family, why were both brothers spotted at the house before the police even showed up? If she really only called his mother, how did her brothers appear in time for the shooting? And if money wasn't exchanged, why are folks whispering about payment and cover-ups instead of just calling it a bad fight gone wrong? It's messy, it's tragic, and it's exactly the kind of scandal that turns into a public trial before the real one even begins. Just like PNB Rock's girlfriend was wrongly accused online after his death, Kelsey could be innocent, or she could be playing the same Frost family loyalty game that's been feeding VH1 storylines for a decade. Now, it doesn't matter what you choose to believe, though, one thing remains true. T Hood put hands on K Frost when he was alive. And if you don't believe, there's live footage thanks to her friend.
But they done took, his family has embarrassed him for, I'm just gonna show y'all. This is the things he used to do to my friend.
Now, this wasn't the incident that led to him going 6 feet under, and this has not stopped T Hood's sisters and his mama, Yolanda, from putting the Frosts on full public blast, dropping accusations so heavy they made the official police report sound like fan fiction. The most viral post came from one of T Hood's sisters. She flat out wrote, "Frosted K set my brother up. She had her brother shoot him 5 times in the back, stomach, and chest. Then they cleaned it up and hid the brother so police wouldn't find the weapon or him. No sugarcoating, no waiting for evidence, just straight finger pointing at Kelsey, Kai, and the unnamed older brother. And to be fair, the family's math. If this was just some heated fight that spiraled out of control, why wasn't 911 called immediately? Why was there a gap between the shots and the police arrival? And why did one brother stay while the other allegedly disappeared before the cops got there? Add in the fact that the fatal wounds were in the back, not the front, and it starts looking less like self-defense and more like a setup. But the family didn't stop at IG captions. Oh no, they came with audio receipts. Within days, they leaked a phone call they claim was recorded with Kelsey right after the shooting. On the tape, Kelsey sounds defensive, trying to distance herself from what happened. At one point, she says, "I don't condone that bleep. I don't care, brother or not."
I don't know. They maybe have the wrong information. They tried to find him. They sent the little SWAT team with the little with the big gun. They came and he was taken into handcuffs. I told you that on the phone. I don't condone that shit. I don't give a whether or not. Like, I hear what y'all are saying, but y'all, like, you can't, like, I don't condone that shit. It's more to the story, so I don't know.
Well, I don't understand how they would let him out if you told them that your brother shot Tevin. They supposed to have him. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to find out.
Now let's pause right there. To T. Hood's family, that was damning. They said if she really had nothing to do with it, she wouldn't be talking like that. She'd be shocked, devastated, furious. Instead, she sounded like someone trying to straddle the fence, protect her brother, while also playing innocent and child. The internet ate it all up like a holiday plate. The leaked audio spread faster than a TikTok dance, with folks dissecting every pause, every tone, every background noise like they were CSI Atlanta. To T. Hood's fans, it was proof she knew more than she was admitting. To Kelsey's defenders, it was just a scared girl talking in the middle of chaos. But either way, the Frost's image was already bleeding. Then Yolanda, T. Hood's mama, delivered the knockout punch. She took it beyond family drama and went straight for the Frost empire. She told fans to boycott Frost Bistro and pressed ATL, Kirk and Rashida's businesses until justice was served. She even tagged VH1 and called out Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, saying their reality stars were hiding behind fame while her son's killer walked free. Think about that for a second. A grieving mother launching a full-blown economic boycott against one of reality TV's most infamous couples. That's not just personal pain, that's public warfare. And it worked. Yelp reviews tanked, Instagram feeds filled with hashtag justice for T. Hood. Suddenly, this wasn't just about one man's death. It was about a famous family's reputation, their money, and their brand. That's why folks keep saying Kelsey's Instagram essay might have been sad, but Yolanda's receipts hit harder. Because in the court of public opinion, screenshots and audio leaks are stronger than tears. With the family dragging her name through the mud and hashtags flying every hour, Kelsie Frost knew she couldn't stay silent. She hopped on Instagram to set her own record straight. And let's just say her words only stirred the pot further. She painted herself as a woman blindsided by tragedy, stuck defending herself when all she wanted to do was mourn. She claimed she didn't call her brothers, didn't involve her family, and the only call she made was to T. Hood's mother. For her, that was supposed to shut down the for hire rumors. But child, instead of shutting it down, it lit the internet on fire. The very same night she posted, folks flooded her comments. I mean, if her brother walked into him on his sister, that clearly explains why he was in the back, still can be ruled self-defense. Once you put hands on somebody, that opens the door for anything to come your way at any time. Never cared. Definitely can't claim self-defense once he turned his back. And this is where the payment accusation won't go away. The family's version isn't just that she called her brothers, it's that she paid them, made sure their loyalty wasn't just about protecting their sister, but about securing her safety at any cost. That word paid changed everything. Suddenly people weren't just calling it a setup, they were calling it a transaction. See, in messy celebrity families, money is always part of the narrative. Think about it. Cassie accused Diddy of using payouts and NDAs to keep people quiet. Tekashi 6ix9ine once admitted he paid dudes to handle his beefs. Even the Kardashians have been accused of paying to bury scandals. So when T. Hood's family framed Kelsey's brothers as paid hitmen, the analogy stuck because people already believe famous families use money to cover their dirt. And what made it worse? Witnesses swore both brothers were at the house when paramedics pulled up. That wasn't blog gossip, that was in police reports. So even if Kelsey never handed over a dollar bill, the fact that both brothers showed up and one allegedly vanished into thin air made the payment narrative sound believable. Her defenders tried to spin it differently, that the brothers acted on their own, out of instinct, out of blood loyalty. But critics clapped back. Loyalty doesn't clean up a crime scene before 911 gets called. Loyalty doesn't put 5 shots in someone's back. So now Kelsey's stuck in the worst position possible. If she stays quiet, the family's version dominates. If she speaks, her words words get torn apart. And because the word paying is already in the mix, no matter what she says, people hear dollar signs behind it. And that's why her IG post didn't clear her name. It only deepened the divide. To some, she's a grieving woman with a famous last name unfairly dragged through the dirt. To others, she's a Frost who thought she could buy her way out of a murder. And once the idea of payment enters the narrative, child, it's almost impossible to erase. Now let's get into the real puzzle piece of this whole messy situation, the Frost brothers. Because depending on who you listen to, they're either protective family who stepped in to break up a fight or turned their sister's argument into an execution. Let's start with Kelsie Frost. He's the one everybody knows by name. Police reports say he actually lived at the house with Kelsey and T Hood, which already complicates things. According to cops, Kelsie showed up during the argument, stayed on the scene when officers pulled up, and even cooperated with investigators. No prior record, no attempt to run. That all lines up with a neat little self-defense storyline police seem to be leaning on. But T Hood's family claims Kelsie wasn't even there when the fight first popped off. Their version says he left, came back strapped, and shot T Hood while he was trying to retreat into the house. 5 shots, 2 in the back, 1 in the chest, 2 in the stomach. To them, that doesn't scream protect my sister. That screams make sure he doesn't get back up. Then there's the older Frost brother, the ghost in the story. Witnesses swore he was also at the house when paramedics arrived, but his role is hazy. T Hood's family claims he fired too, but conveniently dipped before cops could lock anything on him. Word on the curb is that because he already had a record, the Frosts are allegedly shielding him while letting Kelsie, the one with no priors, face the music. That way, the self-defense narrative has a better chance of holding up in court. And here's where the timeline gets suspicious. Police said both Kelsie and witnesses stayed at the scene and cooperated, but the family says the scene was already cleaned up before the first responders even got there, and no weapon visible, no blood trail outside, nothing but a body and a broken story. If that's true, then cooperation doesn't mean much if the evidence was already swept. This is the split screen effect. On one side, we got the police's timeline. Kelsie lived there. Argument broke out, shots were fired, he stayed put and gave his side. Self-defense is on the table. On the other side, we have the family's timeline. Kelsey called her brothers, Kelsie pulled back up with a strap, older brother helped, they cleaned it up, and one of them disappeared to avoid the heat. Now let's not act like this is brand new. We've seen messy timelines like this before. Remember when Tekashi 6ix9ine was kidnapped and people swore his crew set him up, but his official story painted it differently? Or when Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy painted his whole circle as enablers who made his version of events look cleaner than reality? Fame always muddies the story. There's the official version for the police report and the real version whispered online. And child, the wounds themselves tell their own tale. Back, stomach, chest, that's not a scuffle. That's finishing a job, which is why T Hood's family keeps saying this was execution style. And once you use that phrase, the whole Frost family timeline collapses into a darker picture.
And like I said, y'all, I'm only speaking out because this is something that I had to hold in for a very long time off the sake of the respect that I have for my friends to not actually let people know her business. But his family has embarrassed him.
At this point, it's not just about who pulled the trigger. It's about the Frost name itself, because let's be real. This family has been reality TV messy long before Kelsey and her brothers made headlines for T Hood's death, and the weight of all those old scandals is why folks are quick to believe for higher narrative now. First off, the Frosts aren't strangers to public scandal. If you've ever watched Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, you know Kirk Frost dragged his wife Rashida through some of the most humiliating storylines in franchise history. The 2016 hot tub scene, Kirk with side chicks while Rashida was pregnant, is still one of the most replayed LHH clips ever. Then came the side baby drama when Jasmine Washington revealed she had his child. Even Nicki Minaj jumped online to clown Kirk. Damn, my ninja, after 15 years you embarrassed the mother of your child while she's pregnant on national TV like that? Cornballs on deck. So when Yolanda, T Hood's mama, told fans to boycott Frost Bistro and pressed ATL, folks didn't hesitate, because to them this wasn't just a family caught up in tragedy. This was a brand built on scandal, and now the mess has finally spilled off reality TV and into real life. And then there's Kylie's old baggage. Back in 2017, rumors swirled that he was allegedly involved in an inappropriate relationship with another young man, with supposed leaked photos and phone calls floating around. It never went to court, nothing was proven, but that stain lingers. So when his name popped up in connection to T Hood's shooting, the internet didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. They pulled the old receipts out like ammunition, tying past whispers to present accusations. That's why this case feels bigger than one night in Gwinnett County. It's about legacy. If the police side with the Frosts, labeling it a tragic domestic dispute and clearing Kelsey of any payment rumors, they might limp away with businesses intact, bruised but not broken. But if even a piece of the family's story is proven true, if evidence shows shows Kelsey really did bankroll her brothers. If the cleanup is confirmed, if the missing brother suddenly reappears, then the Frost brand is finished. No more LHH redemption arcs, no more boss couple branding, just a legacy forever linked to blood and betrayal. And that's why the court of public opinion is already ahead of the actual courts. To some, Kelsey is just a grieving girlfriend dragged by a vengeful family. To others, she's a black widow who thought blood money could buy her protection. The truth, whenever it drops, will decide more than guilt or innocence. It'll decide if the Frost name survives another scandal, or if this is the one that buries it for good. Because let's be real, in Atlanta, reputations are currency, and right now, the Frost account is in overdraft.